is Just So You Know Moments with a Twist. Your host, Dr. Jackson-Dean, the Pen Slayer. You ready? Let's go. Just so you know, moments with a twist. Oh, talk show host, speaker, life and success strategist, author. Oh yeah. I inspire, empower, and coach others to be the best version of themselves. Just so you know, moments with a twist. Are you ready?
This Just So You Know moment is brought to you by Dr. LaShonda Jackson-Dean, Jackson-Dean Investments and JDI Multimedia Network. Just so you know, Dr. Jackson-Dean, the TV talk show queen, the Pen Slayer, and multiple national and international best-selling author says, I am a talk show host, a speaker, life and success strategist, and an author. I inspire, empower, and coach others to be the best version of themselves. Welcome to Just So You Know Moments with a Twist. I'm your host, Dr. LaShonda Jackson-Dean. First, giving unto God for everything. Although it doesn't look like He's there, but we're so thankful that He is still in the blessing and healing business. Thank you, God. And tonight, on this very night, we have the most amazing Miss Trenda Doze, the owner of Laverne's Cakes and Catering. Please help me welcome Miss Trenda Doze. Hello, Miss Doze. How are you?
Good evening, doctor.
Thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate
Thank
you.
you. Thank you
And
for
may I
having me.
start by saying that you look exquisite.
I do what I can.
Well, you did it tonight, honey. You look wonderful,
Well, praise
wonderful.
God.
As Billy Crystal used to say, you look marvelous.
Marvelous.
But once again, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for being a guest on Just So You Know Mama with a Twist. And we would like to introduce you to the world, to the masses. So please tell us, who exactly is Miss Trenda Doze?
Well, Trenda Doze is a mother of two, Jonas and Janice,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a full-time employee. I working 8 to 5, 9 to 5 by day, and I have a cake business, an alteration business. Um, I pretty much do it all.
You must be part Jamaican like me with all those jobs, honey.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Your man. Your man. Ain't nothing wrong with them. All the ones out there with only two jobs, they're lazy. They're bums. We
Lazy
the one who
bum.
get the work done. It's on our backs here. We're carrying the world on our backs.
No doubt, no doubt.
But yeah, I understand. I completely understand what you're saying about that. Working full time and but doing your business, you're still taking care of it. Because I tell everybody I
Mhm.
know, if you can put in 8 hours for somebody else,
Right,
when you come home, you need to be putting in the same amount of time or even
right.
more for your own self.
Exactly,
Don't go to
exactly.
work all day punching somebody else's clock, then come home, go to sleep, and don't do nothing about your own business.
Definitely. And as my brother would say, I don't have bags under my eyes, I have sacks.
And those sacks are full of cash, baby.
Preach, preach, preach.
Hey, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I tell my clients, and a lot of them say, "Oh, I'm just so ready to quit." I want to look. Get yourself together first. Get
That's it.
yourself together.
That's it.
Then, then,
No
and
doubt.
only then, if you're ready,
Right.
leave then. But make sure that you have all your stuff established before you walk off of your full time job that's bringing in a constant income. And there's absolutely nothing
Yes,
wrong with working a full time job and running your business. And I won't
definitely.
say running your business on the side because it's not running your business on the side. It's just
Right.
running your business.
I just look at it as reaching more customers. That's it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so we don't went off on a whole nother show here talking about entrepreneurship. Yep. So let's
Yes.
rear it back in and let's talk about Laverne's Cakes and Catering.
Yes,
First,
ma'am.
could you tell me where did that name Laverne originate from?
It is my husband's mother's first name and my mother's middle name. So that's where we got the name from, and just thought that it would be fitting um, to just name it that.
Okay, that's wonderful. That was very gracious of you to not only include your mother, but to also include your mother-in-law in
Right.
that
Hmm.
and in the name of the business. So tell me a little bit about Laverne's Cakes and Catering.
Well, Laverne's Cakes, which is um, has been established for a little over 10 years now. Um, I specialize mainly in theme cakes, which means if you want a building, I'll make it into a cake form. Everything is edible from the roof to the foundation that it sits on. Um, just making everything edible and just basically trying to create whatever the customer wants, but in a 3D form.
In the 3D form. That's
Right.
interesting.
Hmm.
Different people have their own idea and their own vision as far as how they make their desserts. But I
Right.
love to see the 3D type cakes. But you
Right.
brought up an interesting topic there with you were saying everything is edible.
Right.
And I remember once before eating some dessert and had some beautiful little pearls on it. And I bit into it and almost cracked my tooth because I didn't realize that it was it wasn't edible. I was trying to eat it all. So
Well, the thing about with Laverne's, I have a um, food handler's license as well as um, liquor license because some people like liquor. The bottles are infused in their cakes. So just to
right,
cover myself, I made sure that I had those licenses, and I attend several classes on just making sure I'm in the know uh, as far as like trademark information, what you can do, what you can't do. Um, but the items that we put onto our cakes or that I put onto my cakes, or I try to make sure that they are edible, whether if it's a can, if it's a bowl, if it's whatever it may be, I try to make sure that it is edible. And one unique thing that I have found out in the process of doing cakes that recently surfaced was to make sure I inform my customers if I make a three-tier cake to let them know that there's skewers or dowels inside the cake, um, because just in case, because people like to pick up cakes now and smash people in the face with them. So
yes,
that way, that avoids, it's a safety issue, a hazard issue. So,
you are absolutely right about that. I guess we're not really the that's kind of like common sense that those
hmm
tiers have to have something that's holding the cake together in there, and so I guess they say, common sense is not always so common, but
Well, thinking about it now, to I guess when you mention it to someone, they would kind of think about it, but for a lot of people, they don't know what it takes to structure how, to structure a cake. Sometimes people use, if you see those cakes that look really perfectly square, perfectly circled, and especially like in pictures, a lot of people use styrofoam to
Mm.
have that perfect edge. So just imagine if you don't tell someone that, you have a dummy cake in there, and they take that and smash somebody in the face with it, whether
Okay,
it's
wait a minute. I got to stop you there. I have got to stop this. Put a pin right there. We're gonna go back to these tiers first. Then we're gonna talk about this styrofoam cake because
mm,
I had no idea. But with the tiers, like I said,
yes, ma'am.
it would be common sense that there's something sticking, holding up in the cake, holding the cake together there. And for us as customers and guests to parties and events, we just see the beauty of the cake, and we're looking at the texture and all of the designs on the cake, and we're thinking about how good it's going to taste. And then all of a sudden, somebody picks up the cake and smashes someone in the face with it. So you're right. Someone could get their eye put out or anything
That's
with
right.
those tears or those skewers in there,
Right.
and that's not something that you really think about when you're looking at a beautiful cake.
Exactly.
And I am so glad you brought that out, brought it to our attention to even take that in consideration.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for that. So don't be smashing me with no cakes. So now to this styrofoam cake, I'm looking at all these beautiful cakes. I want to eat it. You talk about it may be styrofoam?
Well, a lot of times when people want 4 and 5 tier cakes,
Right.
uh, sometimes they want the height, but they don't necessarily need the pieces. So your biggest piece on the bottom, which may be the base that's actually holding up the rest of the cake, it could very well be styrofoam. I'm not
Really?
saying that it's always styrofoam, but yes, it is styrofoam. And that is a proven factor, especially like if you go to, like for instance, Walmart bakery and you may possibly want to order a cake. A lot of the Walmarts have cakes that are already structured there. Well, that's covered in that's styrofoam
Oh, so you talk about the cakes on display.
on display. But however, people do use the styrofoam rounds just for height, for a fill in. Like your middle section may be styrofoam because you didn't need that much cake to feed. You only wanted to feed 50 people, but you still wanted the height for to complete the decoration or
So
whatever
now
the
you
theme was.
So now you got me reflecting on every cake I've ever seen. All of these tall cakes. I've seen
Hmm.
different weddings where they have like 6 feet tall cakes. I'm like, what
Hmm.
are they gonna do with
Hmm.
all of that cake? Who's gonna eat all that cake? And
You're
now to
right.
find out that it was styrofoam, they fooled me.
Well, the big thing is you'll actually see them on a lot of websites, and people will bring that cake or that picture to a cake decorator and say,
Right.
I want this cake and expect that same outcome. Well, if you get a cake from me, I've had problems a couple of times where my cake has broken on me, before I
Mhm.
even could finish it and had to start all over because I believe in giving people freshness as well as not just the look but the freshness and the moistness of a cake.
Right.
A lot of the cakes, theme cakes, a lot of people, if you actually look and study it, there's nothing against to them because everybody is going to do their own thing. But for me, when I charge somebody, I want them to have the full experience. I don't want to give somebody a cake that tastes like concrete and
Yeah.
it's pretty, but I mean that's pointless to me.
And you know what? People never forgets it either. When if they
Right,
have some cake and it's not good, it's not moist, and doesn't have a
right,
good flavor to it, they never
right.
forget. And if they never ask who was the baker on a good cake, they
Mhm.
always going to
Mhm.
ask who was the baker on a bad cake. That way that
Definitely.
they can always eliminate that possibility of ever buying a cake from them
Right.
themselves.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yes, it's very, very important to ensure
Mhm.
that you are giving your customer the best with the
Mhm.
best taste, the best look,
Right.
appearance with it, decorations and all that. And I think it's also important what you were saying as far as everything being edible.
Right.
Um, you have to think about maybe children getting a hold to a pearl or something and get it
Mhm.
lodged in their throat. Um,
Right.
their little weak teeth are not prepared to take on
Right.
one of the pearls like my teeth were. I bit into it and I'm like, it hurt, but I didn't break anything. But somebody, a
Mm.
small child with some weak teeth may break a tooth, and then guess what? You're
Yes.
sued.
Ex- Exactly. Exactly. Another big thing is transporting, because I have some customers in some clients in Houston because I'm in Huntsville, so I
Mm-hmm.
have some customers in Houston, and they order tier cakes, and I have to tell them that either you will have to pick it up or I can bring it there. But if I bring it there, there is a charge. But you cannot transport a cake already assembled because it will not make it.
Right, right. It's gonna it's gonna fall on one side at least, huh?
Exactly. Exactly.
So then by the time you get it there, they're blaming you for bringing this lopsided cake.
Definitely. 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 Now, we did travel from Beaumont to Houston with a diaper cake, and that was very eventful.
Hmm.
Very eventful.
So
Because
you
just to have the equipment to transport alone it could get up there.
okay when you're saying we, are you the only baker, or how does this go with?
Well, currently I am the owner and operator, and I am the only one operating Laverne's. Previously, it started out, my husband was the one who actually baked, and I was the one who just did the pieces because I have a degree in fashion designing, so I know how to make patterns. So I would make patterns from scratch, or whatever the letters, cutting out. I did all of that, and but the business kind of started picking up a lot to the point to where he was like, well, uh, he had a full-time job, so he would go and work full-time, and I would take over the cake business.
Hmm.
And so he basically taught me everything that I know about cakes.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, all different types of cake. To be honest, I'm more of a pie person. I prefer
Hmm.
pies, but I
Hmm.
have had the opportunity to get a hold to a good cake and really enjoyed it.
Hmm.
When it comes down to cake, I'm more of a frosting person.
Right.
I could eat the frosting more so than the cake. But if it's a really good moist cake, then yeah, I take my
Hmm.
time and enjoy it because
Hmm.
I know I'm not gonna have cake too often because I'm not a cake person.
Right, right. Now, the interesting thing that I learned about icing was that everything works pretty good except your really dark colors like navy blue and black. It changes the chemistry in the icing and it becomes bitter.
Really? Navy blue and black.
Yes,
And it
navy blue
becomes
and black
bitter.
makes it bitter.
Okay,
Hmm.
y'all heard that on Just So You Know Mama with a twist. All you cake lovers and potential cake makers and creators. Blue and black, navy blue and black makes your cake
Hmm.
bitter. So don't
Right.
use that. Or try to
Well,
limit it as
it
much as you
it
can.
exactly, and we still do it. We still
Mhm.
make, we'll do whatever the customer wants, as far as coloring, but we try to forewarn people. A lot of people won't tell you that. We try to forewarn people.
So I wonder if there's a way, and I'm just putting my creativity into works right now, and and I'm not a baker. I don't even cook. So, uh, what if you take whatever it is that you're gonna make in the black,
Mhm.
get you some sugar and put the dye in it to make it a little more sweeter, and then add that to it? Would that change the taste to it? Would that give it the sweetness and take out
It
some of that bitterness?
It will give it the sweetness, but there too, because it's already buttercream, there is butter in it, of course, otherwise it wouldn't be called buttercream. But
Right.
there is a bunch of sugar that's already in it. So the
Oh.
only thing that you could do would be to possibly add powdered sugar, which will sometimes, depending on how much you add, may turn it into gray.
Hmm. So it doesn't really change the consistency, it
It,
changes the color
right,
of it. Oh, wow.
right.
Well, yeah, hey, I tried. Now, now watch me as I back away from the kitchen.
Now, that may not be a proven fact, but that's what I found when I experiment with it. Now, and because a lot of people have health issues and allergies, it's like you really don't want to keep adding the sugar,
Right. Okay.
diabetes, and everything else, you know?
You're absolutely right on that. I'm just, I was just trying to figure out a way that they could use some of the black and the navy blue if they wanted to, because you got the navy blue for your Cowboys fans, you got the
Right,
black for your Saints fans, and things like that. So
definitely.
you're gonna have to have those colors on that cake if you're gonna make a Saints cake or a Cowboys
Exactly,
cake.
exactly.
So trying to figure out how you could still make it sweet and
Hmm.
still have the colors. So I don't know. You
Hmm.
know what? I try to stay in my own lane here. So I'm gonna leave that to you to figure out how you can make the black and the navy sweet. Okay, that's your homework. Okay.
I will work on it. Definitely.
uh, I would like to show some pictures of some of your beautiful cakes when we go to commercial. But
Okay.
tell us some more about the different types of cakes that you make. I know you say you make the 3D cakes, but give us a visual on the type of 3D cakes that you make.
Um, when you say visual, I mean as far as how they're made, what they look like.
Well,
Um,
you said they're 3D, so will the Mickey Mouse be standing directly up, or is he laying down on the
no,
cake,
no.
or
Well, here's the thing. Yes, you can get an actual Mickey Mouse miniature, which is probably about maybe really as tall as you want.
really?
Um, However, that upcharged your price when you do that. So you have some people just say, well, we can also lay it flat on the surface. Maybe have his ears, which sometimes we'll do them out of Rice Krispie, and
Oh,
cover it in fondant. So when there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. Yes, you can do an actual 3D where he's sitting down, or you can just do like the face or the flat images, and which you'll see on the pictures where I've done several of that with just the flat images or 3D itself, and
okay.
just trying to make everything look exactly like the actual item to a T.
Well,
From
I've seen your cakes, and it actually does look like what you set out for it to be. Yes. once again, thank you so much for being a guest on Just So You Know Moment with a Twist. We're going to go ahead and sign off. That's right, with a twist, sign off for the night. So let's give everybody our Princess Wave and say good night. For more information on Dr. LaShonda Jackson-Dean, the books and the services that I offer, please visit me online at www.drlashandajacksondean.com/shop and get you some books. Thank you so much. Y'all have a good night. And thank you for watching Just So You Know Moment with a Twist TV talk show.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This is Just So You Know Moments with a Twist. Your host, Dr. Jackson-Dean, the Pen Slayer. You ready? Let's go. Just so